Welcome to my snowy little landscape here, which is totally appropriate because this is what my house looks like right now. Yeah. It's December and it's Buffalo, New York. So that's my reality. So, of course, the Hive, I do a book club inside of Altspace. And every month we read a new book or a novella, or we read short stories, whatever. We vote because we vote. I give you guys choices and you vote. So if you ever want to come join book club, it's on Wednesdays at 9:30, usually every other week. We have a selection to choose from. We get to pick up virtual books and hold them and read the backs. And my friend Mika does a wonderful job of developing those books for me because I don't know that stuff. So what I'm actually going to start doing, though, too, is some book reviews on some of the books we read in book club, some of the ones I read on my own when I have time, which doesn't seem to be as often as normal lately, but that's okay. So let me start. First things first. So this was our latest book that we read. It is called Murder at Mistletoe Manor. It's a novella. It's a holiday themed murder mystery. It actually was really fun to read. I'll give you guys like a brief rundown of what it actually is. So Clarinda Snow, get it? She is, hi Lisa, she is an innkeeper in Windy Plains, Idaho, and she has this small bed and breakfast. It only has 7 rooms, and it's not really, the biggest vacation hotspot of all time. It's where the snow is. I don't blame them. Anyways, so one night, her rooms are all booked, which never happens, right? So something weird right off the bat going on. And then the guests start to arrive, and they're all kind of rich, kind of snobby. They are demanding things like typos corrected in the menus, and why is there no Christmas tree? Hi, Ava. So there is already something weird about the guests. And then we find out they all know each other from boarding school. Weird, right? None of them knew they were showing up at the same place. They got a mysterious invitation offering them free rooms and a free stay with free meals. And Clarinda has no clue how they got these invitations. She does get paid for it because a random envelope comes to her door by the mail delivery guy, who apparently is really cute, according to Clarinda. Anyways, so that's kind of your rundown of the story. It's a bit of a murder mystery, and then people start dying, because there's no murder mystery without death, right? But they're all look accidental. We drowned in a bathtub. We had a dresser fall on top of somebody. Somebody was poisoned. So, well, food poisoning. I'm doing my air quotes. I don't know if you can see those. So there was like a lot going on and a lot of death. So what did I think of the book? One, it was a really easy read. For me, there's nothing worse than having the story come from a perspective of a specific character, but the way it's written sounds like something else. To me, she was like a 30-year-old single lady who just wanted to escape city life and come, buy this bed and breakfast and just live in this Windy Plains, Idaho with the snow and more snow. Which sounds really cool, actually. I might enjoy that if it was someplace warm with a beach and palm trees. That's largely because of what I just showed you my house looked like. So, who knows? So there's that. It was easy to read. It was short. It was only about 146 pages, so I was able to read this in just a couple of days. So it was a nice, quick, cozy, as they call them. You sit around a fire and read a little bit of a holiday tale. The characters, for the most part, Clarinda is very relatable, maybe because I'm also a 30-ish-year-old woman. So I can relate to her thinking the sheriff is cute, or the mailman is cute, or wondering if this guest is single. I can totally relate to that. I think most people can. She was very relatable. The guests were kind of snobby. So They are usually used to five-star hotels and room service, and none of that stuff is available at this little bed and breakfast because it's in the middle of nowhere and there's 3 employees. So they're a little bit harder to relate, a little bit, but still overall it was kind of funny. The characters were like, oh, you have a typo, I have a PhD, and you type this wrong. So a little bit far-fetched. So bad things start happening, right? And people start dying, and so they call the cops, and there's a blizzard happening. So of course nobody can leave because there's a blizzard. They're all getting snowed in. Cops come. The first couple of deaths, there's 7 guests, remember? So there's a lot of people to die. These guests come. They die. The police come. They're like, oh yeah, you're just having a bad day. I think that's a little bit more than a bad day. So we call the cops on the next death. And they're like, yeah, yep, sorry this happened. You're having a bad day. But there's a tow truck that ran off the road down the street, so that's so much cooler. I'm going to go check that out. Like, they literally said that, pretty much. That this tow truck accident is so much cooler than 5 deaths in one day at this little bed and breakfast. So the cops to me seemed a little bit out of place. I mean, if there's 5 people that die in one day at one place, you'd think that'd be the big talk of the town. All the police would want to be there. Instead, they want to go check out the tow truck accident that literally was a tow truck that went off the road. So the cops seemed a little out of place for me. I don't feel like it was very realistic in that aspect, because this is some major stuff happening, right? People are dying, and you don't find that at all suspicious. They literally ruled them all accidents, but there's no way 5 people die accidentally in one day. I don't care where you're from. Not like this. So there was that. A little bit off-putting for me with the police in that. Also, it's a murder mystery, so it's one of those where you're like, who did it? I have to figure out who done it. I figured it out very, very early on. I was right when I got to the end. I read a lot of murder mysteries, so maybe I'm just like super sleuth. But I don't think that's quite the case. I think it was easily distinguishable from the very beginning which person didn't fit in with the rest. And so then you can kind of put 2 and 2 together. A little bit of a twist would have made it a little bit easier, because sometimes like you think you know who it is, and then the author is like, boom, totally you were wrong, this is actually who it is and this is why, and then they explain it. Didn't really get that, because I was like, yeah, it's totally this chick, and then it was this chick. So I won't give it away though, I promise. So that could have been a little bit better for me. The background story as to why the person did it was a little bit like, I know what you did last summer, kind of revenge tale thing going on. So, I mean, makes sense. Again, this is a novella, so the author is trying to squeeze a lot of things into a little bit of space. Novellas are actually sometimes harder to write than novels, and I've written some novellas and some novels in my time. So, they're hard to write, and short stories are hard to write because you're trying to squeeze in a lot of information in a very short amount of words. And sometimes that means you have to leave big plot things out, or descriptions are going to be much less than they would normally be in a regular length novel. So I can see why the cops were kind of not really on it, because we have to have Clorinda being our super sleuth, Nancy Drew type lady who is the one that kind of like puts the timeline together for the cops. She basically solves it for them. But she's, sleuthy, so the author wanted to portray that. I think it could have been done a little bit of a better way. So, just so you guys know, let me change my picture. So, Murder at Mistletoe Manor is available for Kindle Unlimited. I have Kindle Unlimited. I love it. Free books all the time for just a low monthly fee, blah, blah, blah. Or you can buy it for 99 cents. It was super cheap. It was not available, I don't believe, in audio format. So those of you who like audiobooks, you lose out on this one. But still, it was really cool. to read. I did enjoy it. And of course, I don't know if anyone's ever seen my regular blog, but I do a rating for my book reviews. And I'm going to try to keep this video a little bit shorter since it was a short story. How many stars? How many of these bad boys am I going to give Murder at Mistletoe Manor? Got 4 stars on Amazon. I'm a little bit picky, so I am going with 3. It loses 1 star for the police, and it loses 1 star because I figured out the murder at the beginning of the story. So I'm going to deduct 2 stars for that. But overall, I would still recommend this to anyone who wants something to just kind of relax with and read, that you don't want to get really into something. If you're a busy person and you don't have time to read a full-length novel, but you want to read, you know, a little bit of a mystery story, this would be a good one for you. So it's definitely some pluses here. I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna kind of put this there. Oh, if I get it, there we go. Okay. Now, book club again meets on Wednesdays inside of Alt Space, usually 9:30 Eastern. There's usually 2 events. So the first event is usually a discussion of whatever book we just read that lasts a half hour. The second event is a half hour. That is our actual choosing of the next book. So I do 3 books. I advise what formats they're available on, what the ratings were, the Amazon description, because I think those are the best descriptions of the books you'll find anywhere. And then everybody takes their book like this and holds it up. And then we vote. And then whatever one has the most votes is the one we read. We discussed it on the Hive Discord, which if you'd like to join us there for discussions, please let me know. I can always send you guys an invite there. And I think that's really all I have today. I feel like I kind of rushed through this a little bit, but I'm running short on time because I have last minute Christmas shopping to do for my children, who, if they don't get their stockings on Christmas morning, might be a little mad at Santa. So I have to run, but again, I hope to see you guys in Alt Space, and I will be doing another book review on the next book we read, and possibly one in between, because I'm reading another one right now that I'm really enjoying. So until next time, I will see you guys later.